standing here at a communion table helps us to ground in ourselves and our roots and our Baptist heritage, blessing our renewal of covenant in the words that we'll share between us. And that we renew our covenant in this larger UCC church honors our congregational roots as well. For it's important as we take on new things that we remember our roots, honor our shared humanity, as we aspire to be open to the work of God in the world today. We know American faith communities are in the midst of one of the faith's largest cultural revolutions, we're told, in 500 years. So this is no time for merely pro forma inaugural questions or simply carrying out ancient traditions. You can't give the same answer they gave 100 years ago. So I ask you to search your heart deeply in answering these three questions. First, our new mission statement calls us to reaffirm that we are deeply rooted in Christian faith and radically open to what God is doing now. How will this mission statement help shape your presidency beginning here in the second decade of the 21st century?
I celebrate our rootedness in Christian faith, roots that are very deep, 207 years deep. I honor the proud history of Andover Newton. I celebrate the rich tradition of our school. At such a time as this, however, we must draw upon the ways our history points us to the future. Our history is one of innovation. We have a tradition of being responsive to the unique challenges of each new era. So I promise to be radically open to what God is doing now, not just in some general abstract way. Rather, I will be radically open day by day, in every setting, in every plan, in every decision.
Second, 20th century Christianity often theologically found itself dividing the world into sinners and saints, wheat and chaff, and then set about trying to separate one from the other. Today, we are willingly recognize that we are all deeply human, which is to say we all have deep flaws, and all will ultimately fall short of our aspirations. So we enter into covenant together, being clear about what we owe to each other and how we will be held accountable for our acts. Yet when we fall short, ready to forgive a contrite heart and begin a process of healing and reconciliation. So what kind of covenantal agreement do you offer our school as part of your presidency?
I believe in the gospel, that I am a beloved child of God, not based on my goodness, but on God's grace. It is because I am deeply human and deeply flawed that I rely on God's grace. I believe that God's redemptive love has the power to transform my life in ways that more fully reflect the still more excellent way of Jesus. It is with those convictions and in that spirit that I join in this covenant.
So here's the third question. We're told by the Association of Theological Schools that the majority of seminaries and theological schools in America may not be here in 30 years. We believe Andover Newton has a place in God's work in the world. So what will you do as president to help us discern and to live into God's work for Andover Newton well into our third century as a school of the church?
I come with an open heart, responsive to the Spirit's leading. I will be tireless in my work, unstinting in my devotion, and faithful in my prayers for Andover Newton. I will not shrink from facing hard realities and making difficult decisions. I will bring whatever I have in the way of faith, vision, creativity, joy, wisdom, and spirit of collaboration to this role. I will be an enthusiastic ambassador for our school in Newton Center, in the Boston area, in New England, in this country, and beyond. Wherever there is anyone who might be willing to hear our story, or better yet, to take part in our story.
Having heard your responses, I now ask you, do you promise to devote yourself to the responsibilities of this office, leading this community as a good steward of all its gifts and graces, and administering the responsibilities entrusted to you with integrity, faithfulness, vision, and imagination?
I do, with the help of God.
I want to ask the whole congregation, as you're willing, to stand and join in support. So will you, as a congregation, and all those including in this, the ones who are not here present, join me in promising our prayers, our support, our faithfulness to this common work, striving together to follow in God's way of servant leadership, recognizing that we can do together what no one of us can do alone. If so, please say, we will with the help of God.
We will with the help of God.
With the help of God, all things are possible. Please be seated, and I invite Nick Carter, President Emeritus, to come and add his words to mine.
Martin, it is my privilege to pass on to you this presidential medallion. It is shining and weighty, a necklace that symbolizes the precious burden of the presidential office. Over the 10 generations of this great school's existence, each of us who has worn this medallion has come to know the sacred and humbling lessons of what it means to be chosen for this responsibility. As you assume it now, I pray that this wonderful community will lighten your load, make your path clear, and bless you as they have done to me.
Let the people say amen. Amen. Standing here at a communion table helps us to ground in ourselves and our roots and our Baptist heritage, blessing our renewal of covenant in the words that we'll share between us. And that we renew our covenant in this larger UCC church honors our congregational roots as well. For it's important as we take on new things that we remember our roots,